Welcome to Gutter Trash, episode 339, Black Science. My name is Eric.
And I'm Jason.
Hello, Jason.
Well, hello, Eric.
How are you?
I'm pretty good.
It's good to hear.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, survived Black Friday.
Yes, you did.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
As you did as well.
I guess.
Well, you represent the consumers of America. I represent the retailers.
That's true. I would say you're more on the front line
Yeah.
than anything else.
I'm more of like in the reserves because it's not like people are waiting in line at 4 a.m.
That's true.
for my store.
No, nobody is beating down the door to try to get in and trampling others.
There were people there before we opened.
Well, sure.
But it wasn't.
Nobody was beating on the door.
No.
And they probably was like, oh, we'll get there at like 9:45.
Right? Yeah, exactly. I think that was about right. Because I got there at 9:30.
Oh, yeah. I did go into your store and made a purchase, and
I appreciate that.
I almost trampled a person, but you have tiny people who are in there sometimes, and
Were you the guy that spent his life savings on magic cards?
I did.
Is that you?
Yep, that was me.
Somebody did. Couldn't remember if it was you or not.
Yeah, so Black Friday,
Yeah.
Black Science. Yeah.
It connects there.
It does, and only there.
Right.
Unless you went to a comic book store and purchased a volume of Black Science at a Black Friday.
I actually did sell a copy of Black Science Volume 1 to a customer on Black Friday.
Yeah.
How weird is that?
That is pretty weird.
Yeah.
Because you had read it by then, right?
Yeah. Well,
So
I recommended it. Yeah,
Okay.
I recommended it.
Oh, spoiler.
Uh-oh. Well, I hate this guy, and I always want him to buy something that I'm always like, when can we pawn off? Who can we pawn off the worst books on? I'm like, have you read Evil Ernie? And he's like, yeah. And I'm like, well, how about Black Science? The two worst things ever printed.
Yep.
No, I actually bought an Evil Ernie Youth Gone Wild trade paperback from a guy for 50 cents.
I saw that at the store the other day.
Yeah. That was a pretty good deal.
Yeah, sure. It's a trade.
Yeah, and it's like that one's actually good. Like the art, it's really good. It's like Stephen Hughes, and it's like black and white with cool gray tones. It just looks nice,
Is that the first Evil Ernie series?
Yeah, the introduction of Lady Death, first appearance.
Nice.
Yeah.
I saw you had another trade in there that I was interested in, or at least caught my eye.
Was it the Mask trade?
It was probably that.
Yeah.
Which I already have, so that's
Yeah.
probably why I didn't buy it.
Right. That's a good series too.
Oh, yes, it is.
Yeah.
Yeah, the original.
Yeah. Even in the back of that issue, there's like, is it Mankey?
Mankey, yeah.
There's like 6 pages of pencil art that they never inked because he was going to do a Mask story in Mayhem number 5 or 6, whatever never came out.
Yeah.
I forget what number it was, but so the trade has that story in it, like in pencil form. So it's pretty sweet.
I like his art.
Oh, he's great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What's he doing now lately? Is he
I
still
don't
doing Green
know.
Lantern bullshit?
Oh, is that what he did?
I don't know. He was doing that for a while.
To me, he epitomizes like 90s Dark Horse art for me.
Yeah.
Just like when I think of his art, I think of like that Walter miniseries, and didn't he do that?
Yeah,
Or-
I think so.
and Mask, of course. I mean, he's just awesome.
Oh, yeah.
Very solid.
I mean, I've known him from that stuff, but I also, remember him a lot from, the Morrison era JLA stuff, too.
Oh, yeah. Right.
And
Yeah.
I think he even did a couple of issues of Final Crisis as well.
Oh, I never read that.
And, of course, Major Bummer.
Oh, yeah. That was him, too.
He always reminded me more of like a more streamlined, mainstream Simon Bisley almost.
Okay. Yeah. Like more like what Simon Bisley's doing right now.
No.
Because he seems like he's reeled in the weirdness.
He has, but it's still Simon Bisley.
Yeah.
He's still just kind of dirty and gross, which is awesome. That's why I love Simon Bisley.
Right.
But, for me, Doug Mankey was always, that without the dirty part.
Right.
I never felt dirty looking at Doug Mankey art.
I never felt dirty looking at Bisley.
Yeah, sure. Why not?
But
Titties and zits.
Well, yeah, I guess Yes, both of those things are pretty dirty.
We are super off track.
Yeah. But that's just about right. Black Science.
Black Science. Rick Remender and Matteo Scalera.
And Dean White.
And Dean White, of course.
Yeah.
Cannot forget Dean White.
No.
Image.
Yeah. It's one of those Image books that
Yes,
the kids
it
are
is.
reading.
Yep. Right up there with Spawn and Brigade.
Trencher.
Yep.
All the kids come in demanding Trencher.
Hey, you know, some kids do, and those kids' name is Eric.
Yeah. All right.
I want to see Trencher come back.
Maybe you will. Maybe Robert Kirkman will write it. He'll bring it back after Invincible's over.
Well,
right?
sure, he's got nothing else to do.
Yeah. It'd be awesome.
Yeah. So, yeah. This comic book.
So, yeah, it's a Black Science.
Yeah.
It's about a team of anarchist scientists.
Was the Anarchist League of Scientists? Or
Yeah,
something like that?
something like that.
Yeah, we are thrust immediately into the middle of the story, and it's a crazy, perilous adventure story.
Fast-paced
Very
nuttiness.
fast-paced.
Yeah.
Incredibly fast-paced.
Yeah.
But yeah, so the backstory is that a group of scientists have invented a machine that will allow them to travel across dimensions and visit all sorts of parallel Earths, where any little thing could have changed to put that Earth on a completely different path than what you are familiar with.
Right.
And sometimes that involves giant frog monsters that have become the rulers of the land,
Right.
and are just warmongering killers. And sometimes it's Native Americans have become incredibly technologically advanced and
Right.
have gone to war with everyone else in the world.
Yeah. As well they should.
Yep. I can't think of a single race of human beings that would deserve that more.
Right. Yeah. To win.
Yes.
Yeah.
Right, yeah.
I agree. Yeah. Yeah. But yeah, it's crazy. And like, it is, like we mentioned how fast paced it is. To me, it feels like it's just like a crazy, like, I don't know, video game or action movie where it's just like nuts.
Oh yeah. Like from the jump, like even when there are like breaks in the action, like they're not incredibly long breaks.
Oh yeah, just enough to catch your breath.
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah, it is just like the craziest action movie that you've ever read.
Right.
Just
With weird aliens and
yeah, balls to the wall, sci-fi, fantasy, action, with some like minor moments of like human character development.
yeah.
And I'm not saying that as a bad thing at all.
No, yeah, because you can tell it's going to be one of those giant stories that they're giving you bits and pieces here and there.
Yep.
Because you get a lot about like one of the main characters, Ward.
Yes.
I think it's the second issue where you really like you're basically in his mind. You know, like because the first issue is narrated by Grant.
Yes, Grant McKay.
And he's kind of like you're in to this world. And by the second issue, though, another member of the team, Ward, you're kind of seeing things from his perspective, and as he goes out on his mission, he's narrating what's happening, and it's kind of cool that they're doing it that way, where you see things from all these different, POVs.
Yeah. But I think through the first 6 issues, which is what we read, the main focus is through Grant McKay. But yeah, like you said, we do get other perspective shifts here and there. And we also get flashbacks to how they got into the situation that they're in.
I really love that use of flashbacks too.
Oh yeah,
like instead of just boring exposition,
right.
You're like, here's a different scene, so it's visually interesting because it changes,
right.
And it tells you something about the present.
Exactly.
I think that's smart.
Yeah, I think a lesser writer and artist would have probably made that kind of boring, maybe.
Right. Oh yeah.
Because the whole flashback thing, it's maybe overused at times. And, I think a lot of people will use that, but, like, you don't care because you already know the situation.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, but it is actually like an insight when they do it, because Grant's whole family is basically involved in this mission somehow.
Everybody except for his wife.
Yeah.
But yeah, and with that, like, you know, as I'm reading it, like when they introduced his family, like, as, you know, key characters in this book, you know, like, suddenly this book came to me as, like a, I don't want to say, like, takeoff, but, you know, like, almost an homage or an inspiration from, the Fantastic Four.
Yeah, exactly. I totally see that.
And in fact, it's kind of the Fantastic Four series that I kind of wish I'd always had read.
Yeah. Right?
And, like, I like the Fantastic Four.
Yeah.
But, like, to me, like, their appeal is that they're crazy science heroes and doing crazy science stuff. But, like, they never do. Like, it's always pretty baseline superhero stuff.
Right.
And this is them doing crazy science stuff.
Yeah. Right? No, I totally agree. This is like, you know what? It would be amazing if this was a Fantastic Four comic right now.
Right.
But since it's not, you know,
Well,
that's
there is
totally
no Fantastic Four
right.
comic now.
Yeah,
so.
it's totally fine. Yeah. It's actually maybe even better that it's not. You know, so they're not pigeonholed to all the, you know, Marvel canon or whatever.
Absolutely. I think even I'm going to spoil a little bit. I have read ahead.
Oh.
Because
don't spoil it for me.
I'm not going to spoil it for you.
Okay. I don't mind if you spoil it for the listener.
No, yeah, that's
fuck
fine.
that guy.
Okay, listener, Jason, turn away. No, like, so I've been buying this book since day one, and this is the first time that I've gotten around to reading it.
Okay. Well.
Because I am terrible at that kind of thing, and I like to waste my money.
Well, you know, there's part of you that's a comic reader and part of you that's a comic collector. And
no, there's no part of me that's a comic collector.
Well, clearly, you've been collecting a book you haven't read.
Well, I've been collecting a book that I haven't read in order to read it at some point in the future. My intent is to read.
Well, sure.
And then I just never get around to it.
But it's kind of fun to collect them, too.
A little bit, yeah.
I like it.
But at the same time, it's like, you know, like literally I was 20 issues into this and I was like, I haven't read a single one yet. I should probably just stop getting it.
Right.
But then, for whatever reason, I just never did, so I'm still getting it.
What are they on? Like 20-something?
27,
wow,
I think is the most
really?
recent.
Okay. Yeah. I didn't know it was up that far.
So this is the first time I've actually gotten around to finally reading this book. Because also, at the same time, every comic I collect is also kind of like, well, this will be a future gutter trash pick.
Yeah, right? I'm not going to read it now because I'll pick it later.
Exactly.
Yeah. I've done that several times.
Yeah. And you have a box of books that you haven't gotten around to reading yet either, so don't pretend you don't.
Oh, no. Yeah. No, I'm just saying that, I'm just admit you're one of us.
Yes.
Like, I enjoy collecting comics. Like, even if, you know, if there was a series that had amazing covers and I was buying them because they had amazing covers out of 50-cent boxes and there was 100 of them and I knew I would never read them, I'd probably keep doing it. Because I like, it's just something I've done since I was a child is, you know, go around and collecting, piecing things together.
I'm with you on that, but, like, I mean, when I was younger, there was, like, everything that I bought I would read.
Oh, yeah.
Everything.
Sure. Like that day.
Yeah, oh, yeah, yeah. And
of course, we didn't have, you know, the disposable income we have now that we're rich lords of monetary capacity.
I also didn't have internet porn distracting me every 10 minutes.
I mean, I intend to read everything I buy.
Absolutely.
Like that was just a hypothetical about the 100 issue. I don't buy anything that I just actively don't plan to read, but I also am fully aware that I probably will never read a fourth of what I buy. Right. Because every week I buy a pile of shit. Oh, yeah. And I only read a little bit of it. Yeah. And that happens every week, so.
Yeah, same here. You know, I get my monthly shipment in and I read maybe like a third of what that comes in. Right. Because, again, part of it is like, well, I'll wait until there's like a trade's worth, or I'll wait till this miniseries is over. Sure. And then I'll pick it for gutter trash, or. Right. Yeah, and then I just never do, or, you know, I just forget.
I mean, I read new comics every single week. Yeah. But I also go to shows and buy stuff out of 50-cent boxes.
Yep,
and,
same.
And like, I'm like, oh, I'll read this eventually. This looks good.
I just bought like 40 comics
Right.
Friday.
Right.
That I'll probably never get around to.
Right. Some of them you will.
Yeah, some of them I will. But yeah, so I actually, after reading the first 6 issues here, I started reading ahead. Because that is how much I enjoyed these first 6
Oh,
issues.
man, it was great.
Yeah.
It was very, very good.
And,
it's probably my favorite thing I've read by Rick Remender, which I haven't read it a lot, but...
I haven't read a ton either, but I would definitely agree. I mean, I've read a lot of fun stuff that he's written.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I really loved his Frankencastle.
Oh, yeah. Those were good.
Yeah.
I haven't read all of them, but I read some of them. Did he do Ghost Rider, too?
I feel like he did some Ghost Rider. I can't remember.
Maybe he did. When there was like a female Ghost Rider or something.
Yeah, I can't
don't
remember. Yeah. I know he did some Secret Avengers stuff after Warren Ellis left, and Uncanny X-Force I actually loved a lot. So he's done a lot of good stuff.
Fear Agent, of course.
Yeah, I never got into Fear Agent.
Yeah. I read like the first trade or whatever, but I never kept up with it.
But, I mean, I'll admit, like, when this series was announced, 90% of the reason I even considered buying it was because of the art. Because I love Matteo Scalera's art.
Yeah, what did he do before?
No idea.
Because I know that name, but I didn't.
All I know is, like, I followed him on Twitter, because people would, like, repost his artwork here and there. And like I'd see it, and I was like, "That is amazing." And then when I found out he was doing this book, and like I don't dislike Rick Remender, so I'm like, sure, I'll buy that.
Yeah, right.
And then 2.5 years later, I got around to reading this.
Yeah. His art reminds me a lot of Scott Snyder. Is that his name? The guy that
Scott Snyder's the writer of Batman.
Yeah, that guy. Yeah, exactly like his art. The guy that drew Joe the Barbarian, what's that guy's name?
Oh, Sean Gordon Murphy.
Sean Murphy, yeah. That's who I'm thinking.
Yeah, they have a sort of a similar aesthetic, I think.
Yeah.
Different enough styles, but...
Yeah, like, I don't know that I would confuse them, but, like, they're very similar to me.
Highly detailed, cartoony.
Yeah.
Gritty.
Real dynamic.
Yeah, oh yeah.
As far as, like, picking, like, interesting angles and shots and things.
Exactly. And every character has character and personality, and I will admit there are times where I can't tell which character is which,
because we're all wearing these spacesuits.
Well, there's that, but like there's at least the daughter Pia and the scientist Rebecca.
Right.
There are times where I can't tell which one is supposed to be which.
Gosh, I hope Grant never has that problem.
Yeah.
He's fucking Rebecca.
Yeah. Pia's his daughter.
But yeah, I had that problem too. Like if only Pia's pictured,
right,
and you can't see her size compared to the other people.
Exactly.
You're like, who's that?
Right.
Yeah.
But I think that's a problem that 99% of all comic book artists would have.
Right.
Like, I know that I would not be able to differentiate unless it was super exaggerated.
See, my trick, give one an eye patch.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And then the other one, always smoking a cobblestone pipe.
Wow. I'm going to steal that trick.
I'm kind of the Will Eisner of comics.
You kind of are.
And it's corn cob, not cobblestone, you fucking jackass. Why did I say that? A cobblestone pipe? Where does my brain go?
I wasn't questioning it because...
You're like, maybe that's a thing.
Right. I don't know about pipes.
Oh, edit that out, and maybe the listener will think the same thing.
I only edit out when your mom comes into the room.
That was amazing. Oh. Yeah, we're recording at your place today.
Yes, we are.
So
no guests.
No dogs or moms. That sounds like the worst punk band's t-shirt. No dogs, no moms.
Worst. Or the best.
Yeah, like if the Muppet Babies started a punk band. No dogs, no moms.
Oh, poor Ralph.
Rolf would be like, what? Yeah. Oh, lordy. But, and then on top of Matteo Scalera's pretty darn sweet art is Dean White's paints.
Oh, yeah.
Fucking insane.
I know, right?
I don't even understand how that's happening. It's like some weird version of, it looks like electric oil painting or something. It's amazing looking.
I know he was, I want to say he was the colorist on, Remender's X-Force run with, Jerome Pena, I think, did a lot of the art on that. And that's the first time I ever saw his work. And even then, I was just like, what is happening?
Yeah. Like, what dimension did they pull this guy out of?
Right. Yeah, what layer of the onion is Dean White from?
Yeah, exactly.
But yeah, this is just such a good, crazy comic.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, and while we're still talking about the artwork, I wanted to bring something up. There is a page in issue 3 that I honestly think has a panel that I'd say is in the top 10 best drawn panels I've ever seen in my entire life.
All right.
Issue 3. There's this scene, and the thing about it that is so awesome is you can look right at it and not even see how amazing it is. But it's done in like a 2-page spread, listener. Mm-hmm. It's like a splash page, 2-page spread and it's done well enough that you can actually tell how it's supposed to work.
You know how to read the page.
Yeah, which is already awesome because there's a panel that goes exactly in like half of each page, and you can tell.
And we've talked about this before. There's some
that drives us crazy.
You can't figure out how to make that work.
Right. Yeah. Where you're like, you start reading all of the left page, not realizing you're supposed to continue on to the right page. But okay, so the third tier down is one giant widescreen panel that goes, all the way across the double page spread. Yeah. And if you read this panel, it is literally 4 or maybe 5 panels worth of comic. And I could see most artists having to break it up into 4 or 5 panels in order to tell the story the way it does.
Right.
Because you see like what they're looking at, then you see one of the characters talking, and then it goes to the next character and he responds, and then it goes to another scene, and then your eyes led to the very last thing in the panel, which is part of the scene that you just saw, but it's like this character leaving the scene, and you see all of that.
Part of the focus.
It's fucking mind-blowing.
It is pretty great. Yesterday on Twitter, Steve Lieber was posting some artwork from an artist whose name I can't remember, but it was just like a random sampling of pages that this guy drew, and just looking at it, I was like, I cannot even begin to fathom the thought process to how to make that work.
Right?
And that is very similar to like what you're pointing out here. Like I don't know, like how the script was written.
I would love to see that. Like that's what I was thinking. I was like, did Remender write, hey, here's what I want you to try to pull off? Right. Or did Scalera just be like, oh, I could do that in one panel?
Right. And even if he did, how could he think it through?
Right.
Because I can't, I don't think I could physically think of how to pull that off.
It's so impressive, and it's deceptively simple. Like, if you just are looking at this, you're like, oh, there's a wide panel where there's a bunch of stuff happening in the background.
Right.
But if you read it, you see all of the imaginary gutters and lines appear in your mind. You know where everything breaks.
Yep.
But it's all one panel, and it's fucking incredible. I love it so much.
He is great. For sure. Yeah, just everything on this book is just firing on all cylinders.
Mm-hmm.
The story itself is interesting. You're never bored with it at all. You always want to see what's going to happen next.
Oh, yeah. And characters will appear, and you're like, who the hell is that?
Right, yeah.
And I'm like, this is interesting.
Yeah.
Where's this going?
And the characters that we're introduced to, they're all, interesting, and they all are intriguing, or things happen to them that make them like even more interesting.
Right. Like a very unlikable character from the get-go, you end up kind of being in his like mindset, or like he's you're in for one of the issues, and you kind of see more like the positive sides of him, and it's really different. Yeah.
And then the things that happen to them while they're basically trying to survive, going from world to world, basically.
Yeah, because when they leap into a world, it's kind of like, it's not like Quantum Leap where they have to fix something and then leave. It's like they have a short amount of time, like 4 hours or 10 minutes or whatever.
Sometimes they even have days.
Yeah. And like their like little machine tells them how long they'll be there or it tells them how long before it leaps, and you have to be within a certain vicinity for to take you with it when it leaps. Because it's like this pillar. It's like this little machine.
Yeah. And it was sabotaged before they left for the Earth originally. What we assume would be our Earth.
Right.
And so basically, they are completely at the whim of this machine that they cannot fix.
They can't program it.
They can't program it. They don't know where they're going, and they don't know, how long that they have on each particular world. And they don't even know if they can survive on any particular world.
Right. Oh, yeah, because they might leap right into a pretty shitty situation.
Right. Or, they could even just leap onto an Earth that has no air, or no food, or anything like that.
Yeah. That's scary. It's kind of like Trump America. You just don't know.
Yep.
We're leaping into a magma world.
Yeah, we are.
Oh.
America is burning.
But, yeah, and then, I don't know. What else?
I can say the one thing that I love is the cover design on this book.
Oh, yeah. Right.
Like, even though, in a traditional comic book store rack sense, you would never be able to see the logo because of where it's placed.
It's like 2/3 of the way down the book.
Yeah. But when I went looking for these, these issues in my long box, I found them immediately.
Right.
Because, just the placement of, the white bar off to the side, and then, where the art is,
they're easily recognizable.
Exactly, yeah. I knew exactly which books were which as soon as I, passed upon them.
Yeah, once you know what you're looking for. Right, but yeah, it is, most comic shops, I think, have that display standard now where the entire cover is displayed for the newer books. We don't. We still have the old school, 80s magazine style racks, so you only see the top portion of the books. So we have to put a little divider behind certain books, like Black Science being one of them. Books that typically have their logos on the bottom.
Yeah.
Which it does kind of irk me as a retailer, but looking at these right now, I'm like, man, those are beautiful covers.
Oh yeah. I think that's the dilemma that a comic creator would face. You want to make the covers look nice and stand out, but at the same time, from the retailer's perspective, I think you should assume that everything is going to be on a rack.
Right. You don't want it to get lost in that.
Yeah, you definitely want the top third of it, to be able to,
maybe if there was just a little symbol or something.
That would be cool.
If this little onion symbol was up there, maybe people would recognize it.
Right.
But yeah, that's a great logo too.
It is, yeah. I love the little onion symbol. I love just the simplicity of the Black Science logo. It is pretty great. And that, science is, a different color on each cover.
But black is always black, baby.
Oh, hell yeah, it is. Black don't crack.
Right.
Yeah, man. We read Space Riders last week, and I think this is, and I don't mean this as a diss against Space Riders, but, this is, the more intelligent version of Space Riders.
Right? Yeah, Space Riders is more wow, that was fucking awesome and crazy and woo, what a nut ride that was. And this is more a well thought out version of that.
Right.
Yeah. That Space Riders is id release, and this is really thoughtful literature or something. Yeah. And they're both great.
Oh, yeah.
Both great comics.
And also both fun.
Oh, yeah.
not to say that, this is great literature, so it's just droll and boring.
Oh, no, not at all.
No, it is, like, from page one, like, action.
Yeah. Yeah, this is an intense book.
Oh, yeah.
And yeah, unrelenting.
Yeah. That is a great word for this book.
Yeah. That's what it should be called. Fuck black science. It's called Unrelenting. And I'm going to write it on the very top of all of your comics so I can easily find it on the rack.
Like I was saying earlier, I have read a little bit ahead, and it does definitely, get more interesting, where it's going, especially where you leave off in these first 6 issues. But like it also started reminding me more of like things like Lost in Space. Or like old TV shows where like there's a group of like disparate people like stuck together on like some abandoned planet or something like that. But I feel like this is a lot more fun and has like more variety to it. They're not just stuck on one particular place. They're going fucking everywhere.
Yeah,
and it's super crazy.
And I love how it does have the family dynamic that's present in books like the Fantastic Four.
Right.
But it's like if Reed Richards was cheating on Sue and smoking weed,
right,
but he was taking care of his kids at the same time.
Yeah.
Like it's much more modern and relatable, probably.
Right. And if Dr. Doom was like, there with him the entire time.
Yeah, exactly. But not in his armor.
Right, yeah.
Yeah, that's exactly what it would be like. That sort of weird dynamic where you're like, I'm rooting for this guy, even though, apparently he's been cheating on his wife for a while with this other scientist.
He's got some negative qualities.
Yeah, but he's not like brazen about it. He's like, I fucked up. He's like, this is the one thing in my life that was good, and I fucked it up.
Yep.
Yeah, so he's looking, he's jumping from dimension to dimension. Maybe he'll find,
the way home.
Like a version of himself that he can respect.
Right. Yeah. And also there's a lot of Venture Brothers in here to me as well.
I could see that.
Like even Kadir reminds me a little bit of a mix of both Dr. Venture and the Monarch.
Yeah. And Word is definitely your Brock Sampson.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And Ben Grimm.
Yeah, sure. Yeah.
But yeah, cannot recommend this book enough.
Yes, it's great.
Yeah.
It's one of those $10 image trades.
Yep.
So the first trade is and it's 6 issues, but 2 of them are like way oversized. They're like
are they?
30 pages or something.
I didn't notice.
So you get a lot of story for $10. So you can't go wrong buying that book.
Yeah. And and I'll say this, there are a lot of books we read for this show that, I'm like, yeah, I really like that. I'm gonna read the rest of this series. And then I haven't.
Right.
Like, I've started to read more of this series.
Yeah.
Like, just, even today.
It's already happening.
Yep. So.
I would like to read more of this too.
Yeah,
I really would.
yeah.
I almost bought our Volume 2 trade when it was on the 40% off sale for Black Friday.
Yeah.
But I was like, I'll leave it in case that dude comes back or whatever.
Right.
So I'll just order another one.
I believe there's also some sort of hardcover that has, like, at least 2 of the trades combined.
Okay.
I'm not sure. There's definitely an omnibus.
There's many options, and you could steal these from children. If you see a child with these, you could probably outmuscle them.
If you see a child with these, you should question their parents for letting them read this, because it's filth.
And then you should congratulate his parents for letting him read this, because it's filth.
Yep.
And more parents, that's why I pass out hustlers at the schoolyards.
Right.
It's not to entice kids to do anything sexy. It's to let them be aware that there's filth out there.
Exactly. Educate your children is what I'm saying. Yeah. But then also steal it from those children because they don't deserve it.
No. And then that way it'd be free.
And they also won't enjoy it on the level you will.
Right. Probably not. It's a good book.
It's a very good book.
Yeah.
All right, then. Well,
should we
break?
Yeah.
Let's do that. All right.
All you timeless children with your predictions and flashbacks, trying to get ahead. What makes you think I can see you? What makes you think I believe you? Dreams inside my past. Have you heard me lately? You stepping up lately. Shot from the past. All the dreams are flying, all the thoughts are dying. Heard from the past. Where do we go from here? Where do we go from here? Where do we go from all you false pretenders and your freaky contenders trying to be the first. In my own opinion, you I'm not defending. You are the worst. You make the world like a circus and you're trying to curse us. Cruel, you know the bounds. But we wanted to beat us, no we wanted to cheat us. It's only one time around. Where do we go from here? Where do we go from here? Where do we go from If you find the amusement in the world of amusement, take a closer look. If you found the listening in the dreams of your wishes, it's all the time we took. Where do we go from here? Where do we go from here? Where do we go from here?
Hey, welcome back.
Hey.
He gave the go signal, and I was like, okay, he's about to go then. He's about to bring us back in. Why isn't he bringing us back in? Oh, yeah, I bring us back in. Black science.
We're in the ultimate dimension where
I bring us back in?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's so weird here. It's almost like my reality, but like everything is so close to being similar other than I bring us back in on this one. I'm kind of scared. Where's Ward?
Oh, what else might be different?
Oh, man. Maybe my penis will be giant in this one.
Ooh, have you checked?
I'm afraid to.
You can check now.
I'm afraid to. I'll check when I get home, and
Because what if it's smaller?
I'll get in the closet with a flashlight. Yeah. I don't think it could be. So did you do any, awesome Cyber Monday sales today? Or no, that's tomorrow.
Today's Sunday.
Did you do any Purple Sunday sales?
No.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Me neither.
Did not do anything. Did not do anything for Small Business Saturday myself.
We supported a small business called Eat Rice last night.
That is true. Why don't restaurants participate in these things?
Yeah.
I want to go and get like 50% off a pizza or something.
Right? Yeah. Or like instead of free comic book day, if there's like free egg roll day.
Right?
Oh man, I would get a free egg roll day.
Come on, restaurants, get your shit together.
Yeah. Yeah, you can't afford to have people not shop there anymore. What if they buy all their food online?
Right. And what if you buy your food online and then it's never delivered?
Well, that happened to you.
Yeah, it did.
Oh, see, those are the dangers of technology. That's why I have techno fear.
Yeah.
Because you think you're like, okay, they lull you into this false sense of like understanding and security, and then you play by the rules and you give them your credit card, and they tell you that you'll be fed in like an hour.
Yep.
And here it is, like 40 hours later, and
well, like 4 days later.
Yeah. No food.
Yep.
Can't trust the internet, man.
Cannot. Will not. Although I do.
There's a writer, I forget who it was, but he's...
Hunter S. Thompson.
It could have been.
Rick Remender.
It could have been. Those are both writers.
I know.
So, it's possible.
I'm just throwing out writer names.
He said,
Stephen King.
He said it's hard to be a writer in the 21st century because his work machine is also his porn delivery machine.
It's true.
It's like, yeah, things are changing.
Yeah. So it was Thanksgiving.
Yeah,
the Thanksgiving holiday,
very
which
recently.
includes Black Friday and Small Business Saturday,
Yeah.
of course.
This is 3 holidays back to back.
Yep. So did you do anything good for the holiday?
I watched Point Break.
The original?
I wish. Yeah, that's a remake that didn't need to happen.
No, it did
But
not.
since it did, I couldn't ignore it. I mean, like I somehow...
You could have.
I did. I somehow managed to not see it in the theater, which has surprised everyone in the room. But unfortunately, I picked up a copy at the library the other day.
At least you didn't pay for it.
At least, right?
Right.
At least. I wish I would have... Like, that's the type of movie, if I would have watched it by myself, like halfway through it, I probably would have just turned it off.
Right.
But I watched it with you and my brother on after Thanksgiving lunch.
Yeah.
And yeah, it was disappointing to say the least.
To say the very least,
Yeah.
I would say it was a piece of crap.
Yeah, it was a piece of crap. It really was. It was like watching a video game about people snowboarding,
Yeah.
which is just stupid.
No, yep.
Like, why would you do that?
You shouldn't.
No.
And I will say this as someone who actually does not like the original Point Break at all.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I think that is a boring movie. This is so much worse.
Right.
Like I saw the charm in the original Point Break while watching this movie.
Yeah. See?
Which I guess that makes a positive for
Right?
this one.
I see. I've always seen that charm. I'm glad that. I'm sorry it took that for you to see what I've always seen. But yeah, it was bad.
I mean, I don't remember too much about the original, but I know that there was quite a bit about, robbing banks and stuff.
There was a lot of that.
Yeah.
Which I assumed there would be. I love heist movies. I will watch
Sure.
any heist movie. I don't care if it's a cartoon, a foreign movie, a horror movie. That's a heist. I don't care if it's a heist movie. I will watch it and I will legitimately enjoy it.
Right.
It's just that's the way it is. And I did not enjoy this movie because it was not a heist movie.
Nope.
It pretended like it was gonna be,
Sure.
and it even
It referenced a heist,
It-
and it kind of showed maybe one.
yeah, it was a remake of a movie that arguably could be considered a heist movie or not.
Sure.
But there's heists in that movie.
Right, yeah.
And not in this one.
No.
No, it was just bad. Disappointing all the way through.
Oh, yeah.
There's no songs by Rat even. You know?
It was one of those movies where the songs that they did have by whatever current modern artists were on it, where I'm just like, man, modern music is garbage.
I'd say I feel the same way, but there's still a part of me that thinks I just might not get it. Like, maybe I'm to the point where I'm getting old, because there's a guy that works with me at my work who's like 15 or 20 years younger than me, and he listens to a lot of music I've never heard of, but it's like, guitar-based music,
Right.
which is in the realm of things I like.
Sure.
But I just don't like any of it,
Right.
and I don't understand why he does, and I can't remember the names of any of the bands. But it's like all shit I've never heard of, and it's all new, and he really likes it.
Huh.
And I just don't get it. Like,
Yeah.
maybe I'm getting older, but
Could be. I mean, like I've admitted to my guilty pleasure of watching Teen Wolf.
right?
And then the new season just started up, and it's an MTV show, and even though they don't show music videos on that channel anymore, like, music is still like a big part of that show. And to the point where, like, if there's a song playing, like, they will have a pop-up that says, like, who this band is and what song it is.
Oh, that's annoying.
It is super annoying. But, like, every single song, A, sounds so much alike, and B, is a garbage fire.
Yeah.
And it's like, I can't understand, like, is it a generational thing? Am I just too old? But, like, any new music I listen to, like, has no, like, soul behind it.
I know I've heard some newer music that I like, but it's usually not rock-based anymore.
Right.
Like, I feel like maybe that's just a genre that has been kind of so
Well,
done.
like what? Like,
I mean, I like some electronica stuff.
Okay, yeah.
I like some, like, hip-hop stuff. I like, I don't know, even some country, I guess, if you consider, like, Ryan Adams country, but, I like some
I would
newer
actually
music.
consider Ryan Adams more rock.
Yeah.
Yeah, just kind of more of a pop rock.
Yeah. Yeah, he's definitely poppy. And I like a lot of...
And also, he's been around for 20 years.
Well, that's true. Okay. That's what I was going to say. I like a lot of new music by bands who are not new.
Yeah.
Like, I still buy new albums, but mostly when I hear something that's, brand new that I've never heard of, I don't like it. Like,
Right.
Maybe I'm getting old. I don't know.
Yeah, it's so weird, because I don't know. Is it just I'm too old for this, or is this genuinely awful?
All right. Well, I mean, I'm sure it seems illogical that there would be no new good music.
Right.
Like, to me, that just doesn't make sense. Like, there has to be something that we're just not hearing.
Right.
Or
Well, that's the thing. We're also at the whim of, radio
Right.
and YouTube and
right.
whatever.
Yeah, because I don't search out new music.
Right.
Like, I follow the bands I've been following, and if I happen upon something else, I'll give it a shot. But
Right.
I don't typically like I don't go to Pitchfork Music and look for whatever's hot and
Right.
cool new indie bands or whatever. I just there's enough music out there I already love that
Sure.
I don't feel like I'm starving for it.
I mean, I get that. But, at the same time, it's like, like we love metal and punk and stuff like that. And then when you search out, something new in that genre, like I can't name, like, a new metal band,
Right.
like, outside of, like, maybe Mastodon, which has been around for, like, 20 years.
Yeah, I'm honestly sitting here trying to think of something I've bought that's like, I guess Alabama Shakes is probably the newest band, and like that's probably like 3 years ago or
Right.
4 years ago when they put out their first album. But I think they're amazing.
Yeah.
But other than them, I can't think of a new band that I actually like.
Yeah, me neither. But, I mean, yeah, like I said, though, like, we're mostly at the whim of, people younger than us, putting on whatever music they listen to,
Right.
and subjected to that, and we're just like, this is not great.
Well, I used to buy a lot more music randomly. Like I'd be like, well, this looks cool. This is brand new. I don't know what this is. I'll order it. I'll buy it.
Without even listening to it?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Really?
I used to do that a lot.
Oh, I couldn't do that.
And I used to have friends that made me mixtapes, and I'd be like,
Oh, yeah.
I like this song. I'll check out this band,
Yeah, that's definitely a thing.
Yeah.
Cause I know you've made me a mixtape or two, and I've had some friends that would, and it'd just be like, whoa, okay, what's this? This is awesome. I'll check this out, But, like, I could never order, like a band or an album
Just sight unseen.
sight unseen. No,
Oh, I've done that a lot.
I did that with Green Day back in 1994. You know, just like, oh, I heard this one song, I really liked it, I'll buy this album.
Yeah?
And I thought it was the worst thing I've ever listened to.
Was it Dookie? Oh, man, I love that album.
Oh, man, I hate that album.
Yeah.
To the death, I hate that album. And that was what instigated me. I have to listen to at least 3 songs from any given album.
Right? That's
to see if I
respectable.
like it.
It's respectable. I mean, mostly I would order, like, if I was ordering it, it would be, you know, like from a catalog of like Relapse magazine or something.
Okay.
And like they would describe it or have like a guy from a band I liked. I'm
So
like,
it would be
I'll give
like
that a shot.
from like a
Shrine-
label that you like puts out
like,
a lot
like
of
I
stuff.
kind of know, like I'm like,
Right.
okay, Shrine Builder, it's got members of these bands, like
Right.
I'll check it out.
Yeah.
But yeah, anymore, like, you know, I just don't do that anymore because, first of all, I'd rather spend $15 on comics because I used to buy albums for like $9 or $10.
Right.
Now they're like $15. So, like, I would rather buy 4 comic books.
Well, that's because you're addicted to physical media. If you just got MP3s,
I am. I don't. Yeah, I can't do it.
It would be
do it.
much less.
I can't do it. I mean, like, I can listen to them online, like on YouTube, to see if I like it or something. But
Yeah.
but I just I have to. I'm very torn in this whole environmental thing, yet wanting to own the physical copy.
Right.
So
Yeah, I get it.
the collector in me.
Yeah. The collector in me, like it used to be big into that with music. Like I would buy vinyl and I would buy CDs and
Cassette tapes.
even cassette tapes.
I still have like 100.
even up to 12 years ago, I was still buying cassette tapes.
I almost bought one last week.
Yeah.
The Cave Carson cassette tape by Gerard Way.
Yeah. I mean, you know, like, I still have a cassette player in my car. It doesn't work anymore. But, you know, I still have one. Yeah. And like, even like a couple of years ago, like, I made a mixtape for
Nice.
a friend of mine.
That's awesome.
Just because, like, I still have like 10 blank tapes.
Oh man, I love mixtapes. If you ever make me one, I still have a little boombox.
I would absolutely make you a mixtape.
that'd be great.
I think we unfortunately have like 2 similar tastes.
Yeah, I'd be like,
Or
okay,
the
here's
stuff
all the
that-
bands I like.
Right. Or the stuff that I like that you don't. Like, you definitely don't.
Right. Yeah. Right.
But, you know what? I'm gonna fucking make you a mixtape.
I don't have the technology because I have a boombox, but it's just one cassette
Right.
thing.
Yeah.
Like that's all that's on there. It's not like a CD and a cassette.
Right.
So I can't even do it anymore.
I'm gonna be totally honest with you. I haven't used my stereo in so long, I don't even know if it still works.
Right. Because your stereo is the internet.
Yeah.
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 Or the XM radio.
Right. Or just like the files that I have on my computer.
Sure.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, there's a band ESP Ohio just put out their first album. It's really good. Those kids, I think they're gonna go places. Like, I don't know who this young Bob Pollard is, but he might write some good songs in his day.
Yeah, he might write some good songs out of the 4,000 that he's written. Yeah, no, I just, what was I saying? Something about
Cassette tapes. You're gonna make me a
tapes.
mixtape.
I'm gonna make you a mixtape. That is a thing that I'm gonna do for sure.
Awesome.
But no, I just yeah, like I used to collect all that stuff, you know, like as far as music goes, and then I just don't anymore. Like I'd rather just not have that stuff. And like I'm not enough of an audiophile where, you know, like oh, I need to hear the clarity of, like, you know,
Of vinyl there.
right, yeah. So like, you know, I'm just good listening to, like, you know, audio. You know.
Yeah, that is weird because I'm fine with, like, I have a pretty shitty record player
Right.
and like my CD player in my car is not great. It's just factory speakers,
Yeah.
but I still for some reason want to own the physical copy. Like, I need to possess it.
Right.
You know.
Like the only thing I really feel about that is like comics. Like, you know, cause I've got Comixology and I've bought digital books before, and like I have a large, you know, digital library, but, you know, like unless I have the physical copy, like I feel like I just don't have that thing, you know?
Yeah. Right. Yeah. It's weird.
Yeah.
I'm sure that'll change generationally.
Right.
Like where it's the thing people don't like physical copies. Oh
Right.
yeah, they used to make stuff.
Right? I mean, And it's weird because, like, you know, as a person who's lived in the same house for like 16, you know, years, you know, maybe longer at this point. I can't remember. But, you know, like dwindling space, you know, is definitely a factor.
Sure, right.
And, you know, having everything just, you know, digitally would be so much easier.
Oh, yeah.
Like, especially if there ever comes a time where I do move,
Yeah.
you know, like, I don't want to carry out
All the
30
comics
long
and-
boxes.
Oh, yeah. Oh, my God, right.
You know, like I would much rather carry out my 2 tablets.
Yeah, right. External hard drive.
Right, yeah.
Yeah, there's something about though. I love flipping through. Like every once in a while, I just like flip through my records or flip through my CDs, and
Right.
it gives me joy. Like and it's not like I have all this stuff.
Right.
It's just like, oh, there's that. Oh, I love
Oh,
that
this
cover.
is awesome. Oh, I should re-listen to this,
Yeah.
or I should reread this.
Or I leave the stickers on. I'm like, oh, I bought this at Ear Ecstasy in Kentucky. Like I remember that trip and
Yeah.
you know stuff like that. I love that whole nostalgia and just the connection you get to them.
I will say, as a consumer, I do get tired of flipping through long boxes.
Oh yeah, right.
Because I went to the Mavericks Black Friday sale and you had all your dollar books, and man, I got real bored of flipping through long boxes trying to find stuff, especially since A, it was not in order,
Right.
and B, there was like a ton of shit with like bags that were like flaps were open.
Oh, that's the worst.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But like, yeah, I just get bored easily.
I like flipping through boxes, but yeah, it definitely helps when they're in order.
Yeah.
Ours, I think, I'd say like 80% of them, the box was in order,
Oh yeah.
but the boxes were randomly put out. So it's
Yep.
like a box of C's, and then a box of Q's, and then a box of A's.
Or a box of Marvel and then a box of DC.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. But those individual boxes are.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
So I don't know. Still.
Yeah. Yeah, like, yeah, I didn't do any other Black Friday anything other than go to Mavericks, because I can't.
Oh yeah, there's zero interest. If I had the day off, I wouldn't go anywhere.
No, yeah.
Yeah.
Like, I wanted to get out of the house. I wanted to, like, just be out, you know, like, and just because I'm in constant fear of just, you know, being a recluse.
Right. Sure.
But, you know, like, yeah, like on a day like that, like, it's like, I don't want to go anywhere and just browse because it's just going to be packed with people.
Those are the kind of days to go to the park or like a
Yeah.
nature reserve because
Right.
nobody's there.
Cause like even going to Mavericks was ridiculous for like the 2 minutes that I was in there.
Right. No, it was crazy. Like,
Yeah.
like I'm sure other stores, like my brother works at a retail store in the mall. I'm sure that was
Oh,
like
yeah.
unfathomable.
I could not imagine going to the mall.
Oh yeah, you couldn't pay me enough. But I mean, even our little shop, it was nuts.
I know a couple years ago, I went out. I bought a computer monitor on Black Friday. But luckily I was able to like purchase it online, so all I had to do was just go to the store and pick it up.
But if you didn't have a monitor, how did you purchase it online?
Because I had a shitty monitor.
Okay.
I just got a better monitor. And so, yeah, so I just purchased it online and then, like, went to pick it up and, like, I happened to meet my ex-girlfriend out for lunch because she had to work Black Friday. And, I mean, just, like my own personal experience of just going to the store and getting the thing was fine.
Sure.
But, like, just navigating, because she works out near a mall, like, just navigating that area and trying to get from place to place and then meeting her for lunch was fucking ridiculous.
Right. Just an ordeal.
Yeah. And, like, even the restaurant was fucking packed. Just because, you know...
Everybody's out.
Yeah.
Yeah, and one of our customers works at a pizza place, and he said that eventually they just stopped taking orders that night. He said there were so many people, like, they just got home too tired to cook.
Right.
He said he would just answer the phone, like, we can't take any more orders tonight, sorry. Like, that was just backed up that far.
Right. Wow. That's
Yeah.
crazy.
Yeah.
It's fucking crazy.
Yeah. People, man.
Oh, yeah.
At least I didn't hear about anybody being trampled to death this year.
I did not, but I also did not pay that much attention. And also, there are worse things happening in the world than...
Yeah, Fidel
Just
Castro
that.
died. You're
Yeah,
right.
he did. Yep, and Florence
But-
Henderson.
They both went out on a Black Friday sale together, and
It was a murder-suicide pact.
they were trampled. They were like, let's trample each other to death. It's the only way to reveal our hidden love to the uncaring world.
Oh, say it ain't so, Mrs. Brady.
Oh.
But yeah, I wound up spending Thanksgiving afternoon with you.
Yeah, it was fun.
Because I no longer have a family.
Oh, you do.
And you are now my substitute family.
We have a really pretty cool Thanksgiving. We never do turkey.
Yeah.
We always do spaghetti.
You don't eat
I don't
meat.
eat meat, and so and we never know if anybody's gonna show up. Sometimes it's just me and my mother on Thanksgiving. So yeah, I always cook spaghetti, and it's kind of become a tradition.
It was fun. It was very laid back.
Mm-hmm.
I know last year when I went to my parents for Thanksgiving, I was super stressed out about it.
Oh, I hate that kind of stuff.
And
Like holiday stress is.
no, yeah,
It's just ridiculous to me. It's like,
Yeah.
why bother doing it?
exactly.
Like the whole point of it is to like, it's like a day of relaxing and enjoying each other's company. And if it's
Yep.
going to be like people, especially people that like, well, we're doing Thanksgiving here at 1 and then we got to go to there at
Right.
5 and it's just like, why?
Yeah, like I know even with when I was dating my ex a couple of years ago, like we did Thanksgiving, like we did it at her roommate's house, and then we went to my parents' house, and then we went back to her roommate's, after a while, and even that was like super stressful for me, because like my own family and my brother and his family were there, and then like the roommate's family was all there, and she has a huge family, and it was just like, yeah, this is too much. And then last year, with me in the midst of my nervous breakdown at the time, and alone, and going to my parents' house was just, I was not looking forward to it at all, and like it was super stressful. So even though like I have pretty much like lost contact with my family this year, like going to your house was like super chill.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Other than the Point Break.
Well, even that was chill. It was just awful.
Right. Oh yeah. No. I had a good time. There was only 4 of us, and it was like just laid back, and we just ate, hung out with some animals, watched a movie. Yeah.
I mean, seriously, your dog was the most stressful part of the evening.
Right.
And if that's the most stressful part, then that's perfect.
Right. Yeah. Right. She is amazing. She actually napped with me today. Like I didn't nap, but I just sit there and read on the couch, and she like slept next to me for like an hour, and it was awesome.
That's cool.
It was great. Yeah. Yeah, she's cool. We played fetch too while I was raking leaves today.
Yeah, that would almost seem counteractive.
Well, yeah, I would like rake some, and then like she'd come over and like she would actually dump her ball right into the pile of leaves I was raking. She usually doesn't let go of it, but she could tell I was like not paying attention, so she just threw the ball down on the pile of leaves. I was like, oh, good move.
So I guess it's my turn to pick a comic, right?
I'm excited.
Yeah.
I like reading. I love reading comics.
I do too.
Yeah.
I don't do it enough, and I really need to. But yeah, speaking of the holiday weekend and on Black Friday,
No.
I purchased a book on Black Friday,
Yeah.
and that is the book that I'm gonna pick.
Nice.
Yeah. So I had been eyeing it for like a couple weeks at Mavericks, and I'd heard decent things about it, and I like the creators involved. So since I just bought it like a day ago, we're gonna read it.
Nice.
It is called Alistair and Adolf
Yeah.
by Douglas Rushkoff and Michael Avon Omain.
Wow. That's a lot of names there.
Yes, it is. It is about Aleister Crowley waging a magical war against Adolf Hitler.
Wow. Okay. I thought they were friends though.
Guess not.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Douglas Rushkoff. He wrote a book called Testament for DC like a couple years back.
Oh yeah. Okay.
And I really enjoyed that. And I guess he's done like a whole bunch of other stuff that we can probably get into next week.
Well, that's cool. I'm not familiar with him. I don't think I read any of that. That's not the one that Giffen helped write, is it? I'm thinking of Reign of something or...
No, yeah.
Okay,
yeah,
it was all him. Yeah, I don't think I ever read Testament.
Yeah.
I have listened to their new album, Brotherhood of the Snake. It's very good. Can of business. That's awesome.
Smoke 'em if you got 'em.
Smoke 'em if you got 'em. Roll it up. I think he says roll it up at one point, too. It's ridiculous. It's a good album, but that song the lyrics are just terrible.
Yeah, speaking of new music by old bands.
Yeah, they're Testament. Great metal band from my youth who's still putting out records. Questionable though they may be.
So are like their old albums, like do the lyrics just as bad and you just forgave them back then?
I was actually thinking about that because I was going through my mind. I was like, well, my favorite album by them is called Practice What You Preach, and I was going over the lyrics in my head. I'm like, well, I mean, they're not great, but they're not smoke 'em if you got 'em. like maybe if I heard that when I was a kid, I'd be like, man, that is so cool. He said, smoke 'em if you got 'em. But yeah, no, I like, they've got an album called The New Order and Practice What You Preach, and I feel like they're not as dumb lyrically.
Right.
But who knows? Might be rose-colored glasses.
Sure. Yeah, I listened to the new Metallica album recently.
Oh, the whole thing.
Yes, it's a double disc. And,
oh my god!
And the deluxe edition has a third disc, which has a couple of covers and some live tracks. I'd heard one of the covers before. It's an Iron Maiden song called "Remember Tomorrow," but then the other two covers I hadn't heard before, and they're okay.
All right.
But the actual album, like their original stuff, there's one song that you and I listened to called "Hardwired."
Yeah, Hardwired.
Because their album is hardwired to self-destruct. And yeah, their first track on that is Hardwired, and the lyrics to that are fucking awful. And the music's okay, but the lyrics, man, is just like...
It's bad.
Yeah. It's like, here's a 50-year-old man trying to, like, be...
He's like
badass.
Stirring up some teen angst.
Right, yeah. And then, like, I can at least say that the rest of the album is definitely not as bad as that.
Well, that's good.
But even then, like, their best song is just sort of okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Out of two discs, yeah, you'd think you'd have at least one winner.
Right. And, like, yeah, it lyrically never gets as bad as Hardwired, but it's still sometimes iffy, and musically it's just sort of like, okay, like, when Death Magnetic came out, like, my thing about it was that, like, oh, this album is all about, them, hey, remember that song we wrote? Here's a riff kind of like that.
Yeah, right?
Yeah.
It was the Force Awakens of Metallica albums.
Yeah, kind of, yeah. And then this one is all like, hey, remember that band you liked? We kind of did a riff like that, too. Because there are, like, songs that I'm listening, that's like an old 80s Iron Maiden song.
Right.
Or, like, oh, okay, that's kind of like an old, a
Devo song.
No, yeah.
That'd be
like
awesome.
Merciful Fate,
right.
or, yeah.
Iron Maiden, Merciful.
Yeah. So, yeah, it's not great.
I would love to see Metallica do a 2-disc album of nothing but Devo covers. That would be cool.
I would enjoy seeing that as well, I think, yeah.
That'd be awesome. Yeah, I'll probably skip that new Metallica one.
Yeah.
I mean, I might listen to it once.
Yeah,
Because I do love their old stuff.
Sure. I mean, yeah, everyone should listen to everything, base it on your own opinion.
Sure,
but my opinion of it is that it's mostly just boring.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think that's the worst crime.
Right.
Like,
especially for a metal album. It's supposed to be intense.
Exactly, yeah.
Yeah, like if it's experimental and it's just like they went in a direction they shouldn't have, at least you're like, well, at least they tried.
Right.
But if it's just boring, it's just
like
bad.
even like I can say that about like Lulu, the album that they did with Lou Reed.
Yeah, like at least that was weird.
Yeah. It was like, well, that was fucking the worst thing I've ever listened to, but at least it was something weird.
Yeah, at least it was different.
Right. Whereas, like, these are just, like, you know, it's like, yeah, that's just Metallica's over.
Yeah. 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 Hey, they left a legacy, though.
Yeah, they did.
Yeah, I could still listen to Injustice for All and Master Puppets. And
Oh, sure.
Ride the Lightning.
I would even say Saint Anger is a really good album.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like it's definitely different than their old stuff, but like it's them at least trying something.
Right.
Whereas the last two are just them like, well, nobody liked that, so
fuck it.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's weird.
Alright.
Don't know where those guys are coming from anymore.
No, well, they're fucking rich, so that's where they're coming from.
It's hard to write angsty music when you're a millionaire.
Yeah.
And you're 3 times older than people that are writing angsty music.
Right, yeah. Or your base audience.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, alright. So Alistair and Adolf.
Yay!
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to it.
Me as well.
I'm a big fan of one of those guys. We'll find out which next week on Gutter Chat.
Good night. Thank you for listening to Gutter Trash. You can subscribe to the show from guttertrash.net or from iTunes and leave us a review. Visit guttertrash.net for email information and for other podcasts and websites in the Gutter Trash Network. Thanks again for listening, and we'll see you next time.